Almost everybody and their grandmothers at least know about the term inflation. Most of you have some idea as to what it is, but maybe you are not 100% sure exactly what it is, how it affects our lives, and why does it happen. Fear not, this video will clear all of those confusions. But before that, a short intro. Done with a short intro. Now, let's talk about the definition of inflation. Judging from the analytics of my channel, I can say that my audience already has some idea as to what inflation is. The general idea that almost everybody knows is that money loses its value over time. That is a good enough explanation. Alright, but the main thing that happens is that the overall price of everything, absolutely everything around you, is going to go up. That is inflation. But is that it though? There's more to it than just that. If I had to say it in a single sentence, I would say that the purchasing power of the currency will go down. If this sentence sounds a little complicated, keep watching the video and the concept will be clear. Now, calculating inflation. How do you calculate inflation? First of all, you collect the prices of a group of products. You find out the prices of these things over the years. Then what you need to do is simple. See the differences between 2 years, divide the previous year, and then multiply the result by 100. That would be your inflation rate. That is how you measure the inflation. That was easy. Now, where do you get the price of these things? Well, there are different prices for different stages of the same product. That is why there are 3 different indexes. They are Consumer Price Index, Wholesale Price Index, and Producer Price Index. In the Consumer Price Index, you are going to have to calculate what the consumers have to pay for the products they buy. For the wholesale price, you count the price of the goods before the retail level. This is done so that you can get a better idea of what the raw materials and other stuff cost while making the product. For a little better idea on that state, countries also go for Producer Price Index. What the producers are charging when selling the product for the first time. Okay, now, what causes inflation? There are many causes out there. First of all, we all know about demand and supply. For now, just remember that demand and supply has something to do with inflation. If the demand of a certain product goes up, the price will also go up. And if the supply of the same product goes down, the price will be high. Let's talk about cost push inflation first. When the cost of making goods are high, the companies will not be able to make a lot of stuff. As a result, the price of the end product will go up. This is also called supply shock inflation because the supply will go down in the market. There can be a lot of reasons why cost of making goods can be high. The labor wages can be high. The raw material cost can be high. There can be political reasons as well. But when the cost of making them get high, the companies are actually forced to produce a little less. Now let's talk about demand pull inflation. There can be a lot of reasons behind why the demand of something goes up. A good reason behind the demand increase would be that when the overall quality of life of everybody goes up with their income level, they can afford more. So the demand of those things can be high. You all know that the government printing out more and more money is a surefire way of increasing inflation to a point that it can become hyperinflation. Why is that? Well, since I'm talking about it while talking about demand pull inflation, it has to be related to demand pull inflation. Now, the government can print money and increase the supply of money all they want. But there are the same amount of goods in the market as before. Increasing the supply of money does not mean the overall increase of the things there are you can actually buy with the money. So, everybody has money, and everybody is trying to buy the same things. The amount of goods available in the market is not going up. Only the amount of cash, liquid cash in the market goes up. So when everybody is competing to buy similar things, the price of goods will then go up. And if you keep printing more and more money, well, it will keep getting worse. So, printing a lot of money is a surefire way of getting the price of a certain currency to go down. I am not going to provide any real life examples here. It does happen, and it has happened fairly recently. If you watch a lot of news, you might remember where did it happen. I'm not going to mention them in this video. You might even find some of them in the recommended videos besides this one. Now, if you have a lot of money, cash, maybe you are saving it for something. You might be saving it for retirement, for buying something in the future, whatever it is. Inflation will be very bad for you. If it gets really bad, inflation can turn you poor in a short amount of time. It is rare for inflation to get to work so fast, but still, for the sake of the example, whatever you have saved might be enough for you to buy a nice car today, but next year, maybe you can only buy lunch from the same amount of money. That is a scary thought, isn't it? Imagine working for years on end and saving money to buy your dream house. And then boom, inflation. And you can only pay 1 month's rent with the money you should have been able to buy a decent home. That's where the government comes in. Well, not the government, the central bank. The central bank is going to keep inflation in check. Central banks can control the prices of things and reduce the supply of money in the market to control inflation. First of all, the interest rate on loans going up will result in less people taking loans. That will in turn reduce the money supply in the market. Increase in interest rates of the government bonds will incentivize people to buy government bonds. So, that money will not be circulated in the market. As a result, the overall cash in the economy will go down. Governments also have the option of price control as well as wage control. Yes, they do. They don't usually go for that because doing that can cause recession, and nobody wants a recession. Absolutely nobody. Now, is inflation bad for everyone? Well, some people say that if you have gold or other assets like land, it is actually good for you. Through inflation, the price of the land will go up, so you will have more valuable assets, won't you? But at a high price, are people more likely to buy from you? The answer also depends. If people think that the price will keep going higher for an indefinite amount of time, they can buy from you even at a higher rate than the asset is actually worth. But does that really happen? Does the price of one single asset goes up all the time? Every time? For an indefinite amount of time? Not really. There are times when the prices of certain assets keep rising for a long time, in turn attracting more people to buy and invest in them, creating a bubble. But this video is not about the bubble, is it? I'll make a video on bubbles next year. Alright, that's the end of discussion for inflation. I hope I have discussed everything related to inflation till now. Thank you for watching this far. You can comment below if you have any questions regarding this video. You have the option of supporting this channel on Patreon. That will help me continue making videos for this channel in the future. You can also like, share, subscribe, and comment. All of those also help me out. Even watching another video from this channel will be helpful for me. Age 16, 32, 64. That's how you solve the problem. Now, for bonus, I would just like to talk about inflation rates of United States from 2006 to 2019. Let's have a look. The blue line will represent the inflation rate of the last month, December, and the red line will represent the overall average inflation rate of the entire year. In 2006, the inflation of December was 2.5 and overall inflation was 3.2. In 2007, for December it was 4.1 and average was 2.8. The changes between the last month and the average means the overall year inflation rate was lower than the last month's. And you're going to see a drastic change in 2008. In 2008, December inflation rate was 0.1 and average was 3.8. The financial crisis took place in 2008, didn't it? So why is the average so high, 3.8, and December inflation rate so low? That is because the market crashed on September. It was really high throughout the entire year and it drove down at the end. You're going to see what happened in 2009. In 2009, the average was negative 0.4 and the year end was 2.7, the December one. So you can see that the overall year average was really low and it went up on December. I could only talk about the average, or I could only talk about the year end month But I believe that would leave some gap in the overall knowledge of understanding the inflation differences over the years. I'm going to go faster now. This is what happened after that. In 2010, it was pretty similar. 11 went absolutely together. 12 went down together. 13 went down both, and both the December inflation rate and average inflation rate were the same, 1.5. It changed in 2014. For December it was 0.8 and the average was 1.6. Similar pattern, average went drastically down and the year-end one went a little slower than that. So you can say the overall year was really lower than the last month. In 2016, both of them went up. 2017, both of them are 2.1. 18, 1.9, December, average 2.4. 2019, 2.3, 1.8. In December, the inflation rate was 2.3 and the average was 1.8. And this is another way of looking at it. Alright, this is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still watching, I really hope you learned something new today. Goodbye for now.